Welcome to Fearless Friday, your day to reclaim your weekend and your life. I'm Flora with the Flora Sage Therapies Institute, and today we have a special episode of Fearless Friday. Today we have a mini class just for you. So for this class, you do need a few materials. So please run and get a piece of paper, just a blank piece of paper, ideally one without any lines on it. And secondly, a series of markers or crayons or some type of colored writing utensil. So pause the video so that you can go get those items. Okay, so you're back. Now, the first thing that we're going to do together is take the piece of paper and fold it in half. Make sure that you crease the lines very well. And fold it in half again. And again. And one more time. Now once you have folded the piece of paper, go ahead and open it up. You'll have a piece of paper that has 16 equal shapes on it. I was going to say squares, but they're not squares. Now, this is going to be your foundation. Now what we're going to do is on the front side of the paper, I'd like for you to write down in these individual blocks what your current foundation is. I have a hair, sorry. What your current foundation looks like. Now, to give you an example of what a current foundation could look like, I created one as an example. So, what you could have on or in your foundation that you've built your life on is blame, fear of money, very good friends, you may overeat, you may have a nice home, you are seeking in the self-help realm, so you're a seeker, maybe you have some self-doubt, maybe you feel like an outsider, maybe you work out every day. So these are some examples of things that you could put in your foundation. These are things that are the current status quo, so what your life is currently built upon. And while you're doing this exercise, try not to think about, well, this is what I want my life to be. Just really look at it for what it really truly is. And no one else is going to be seeing this piece of paper. So please be brutally honest with yourself about what you have as your foundation. Now, the reason why that we're doing this exercise is for the past several months we've been talking about navigating through the void and going from good to great and moving towards something that we really want and truly desire in our life. But if we don't look at what our current foundation is or what our past foundation has been that it's currently still at, then it's very challenging for us to figure out what parts of our lives and what parts of our foundation to look at and work on. And this is something that the more honest that you can get with yourself and the more real and raw that you can get with yourself during this exercise, the more you're going to be able to navigate towards that new foundation. So I'd like for you to pause the video and fill up your paper with the things that you have built your life on. And these things can be a little bit messy, such as addiction, if you overeat or overdrink or use substance abuse or overshop. You know, all of these things are part of our foundations. If blame or guilt or doubt or fear, these are things as well as the good stuff. You know, great friends, great relationships, if you're good with money, great career, everything that you feel supports you in some way or that you feel really dependent on, such as a need for approval. That could be one of the blocks in your foundation. So really give yourself time to do this particular exercise with honesty and integrity and get really raw and really honest with yourself. So pause the video, and then when you're finished, you can unpause the video. Okay, so you're back, and now you have filled out your entire old foundation exercise worksheet. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at this, we're gonna try to pick it apart and look at why these things are in your life and why you've chosen to place them in your foundation. Now, many times we learn some of these, or we obtain some of these foundational blocks from our parents. So let's just say that your parents were very fearful about money, and that was something that you learned from them, and that is in your foundation. So one of the things that you can look at is you can look and say, okay, I have a fear of money. Why am I afraid of money? Am I afraid that I'm not going to have enough? Am I afraid that if I have it, somebody's going to take it, or whatever? And look at that fear, look at that energy around it. And maybe what you really want is you want to have peace of mind about money. And so think about, if one of your foundational blocks is fear of money, sit and think about, okay, so what's the opposite of that? Having peace of mind about money, having an abundance of money. Okay, so what does that look like to you? Maybe it's having money in a savings account, or money in a 401k, or money in your checking account. So this is something that you know that you want to replace and get rid of and shift into a more positive, more spirit-led or spirit-filled type foundational block. So what you can do is just X that out, okay? And then on the other side is going to be your new foundation. Or you can actually have a brand new piece of paper, and then you can write down peace of mind about money. So peace of mind about money. There you go. And so that's the start of your new foundation. Now let's just say that one of the things in your old foundation that you have is, well, I get 6 hours of sleep every night, and that's good. So you can keep that. So you can circle that if you'd like. Or you can just put it on the other piece of paper. So you can put, okay, 6 hours of sleep a night. And what you do is you go through your old foundation and really allow yourself to look at each one and say, okay, I go bowling each week. I love that. That's part of my foundation. I just feel alive when I do that. And so that's something you can keep. I'm close with my family. You can keep that. Blame. Okay, well, who are you blaming? Are you choosing not to take personal responsibility for your life? Are you choosing to blame who's in office, whether it's the White House or the House of Representatives or Congress? Who are you choosing to blame? And these are things that when you look at them honestly, and when you look at them really with that raw essence and say, and it's all about taking personal responsibility. Maybe it's a need for approval that you want to look at. Okay, who taught you this? Why? Where did this start? And this is, you can actually do a lot of child work and shadow work when it comes with these needs for approval or blame or self-doubt or addictions. Many of these things come from feeling this lack in our life, typically when we're very, very young. So these are things that the more that you look at where your life is and what it's built on, and look at it honestly and say, these are things that I'm ready to look at and ready to work with, and these are things that I'm not quite ready to work on yet, or these are things that I have in my life that are really good, they feel really solid, and I really want to keep them in my foundation. Now many of these things too, let's just say that one of your foundational blocks is having a nice home. So think about, okay, so do you need to have that nice home in order to feel stable and secure in your life? Does your house need to be museum neat, meaning nothing can be out of place? That could be a detriment. Are you able to walk into a home or your home and have it be a little untidy and have that be okay? So really look at the extreme of every single block and every single thing that you've chosen to put in your block. Because even though it's seemingly good or seemingly positive, which is just a matter of perception, it can be taken to the extreme to the point that it's very restrictive in your life and in your energy. Okay? So I hope that you have a really fun time doing this foundational exercise. This is something that the more that you allow yourself to get really raw and really honest with yourself, the more that you're able to find out those things that you really want want to be working on in your life, and you really want to start taking personal responsibility for them. Because honestly, this truly is taking personal responsibility for your life, because we're moving from that good to great in our life. We're navigating that void, and sometimes we feel topsy-turvy. And one of the ways that we can help feel more solid and feel like we have that solid, strong foundation is to look at what our life is currently built on and start to weed out and pluck out those blocks in our life that don't really serve us, that don't really give us that spiritual and mental and physical and emotional support that we really do desire and that we really do want. And so doing this will help to create that inspired action to help you move toward the life that you really, really want. And doing this is a surefire way to become fearlessly inspired. Well, I hope you have enjoyed this mini class. If you have, please share it with your friends all over the internet, as well as in your personal world as well. Until next time, I'm wishing you a fearlessly inspired day. Mwah.